Hello, I'm Miss Ginger of Greenhouse Preschool, and today I'll be reading The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush by Tomie DePaulo. Many years ago, when the people traveled the plains and lived in a circle of teepees, there was a boy who was smaller than the rest of the children in the tribe. No matter how he tried, he just couldn't keep up with the other boys, who were always riding horses, running, shooting their bows, and wrestling to prove their strength. Sometimes his mother and father worried for him. But the boy, who was called Little Gopher, did have a gift of his own. From an early age, he made toy warriors from scraps of leather and pieces of wood, and he loved to decorate smooth stones with the red juices from berries that he found in the hills. The wise shaman of the tribe understood that Little Gopher had a gift that was special. Do not worry, Little Gopher. Your path will not be the same as the others. They will grow up to be warriors. Your place among the people will be remembered for a different reason. And in a few years, when Little Gopher was older, he went out to the hills alone to think about becoming a man, for this was the custom of the tribe. And it was there that a dream vision came to him. The sky was filled with clouds, and out of them came a young Indian maiden and an old grandfather. She carried a rolled-up animal skin, and he carried a brush made of fine animal hairs and pots of paint. The grandfather spoke. "My son, these are the tools by which you shall become great among your people. You will paint pictures of the deeds and the warriors and the visions of the shaman, and the people will see them and remember them forever." The maiden unrolled a pure white buckskin and placed it on the ground. "Find a buckskin as white as this," she told him. "Keep it, and one day you will paint a picture that is as pure as the colors in the evening sky." And as she finished speaking, the clouds cleared and a sunset of great beauty filled the sky. Little Gopher looked at the white buckskin, and on it he saw colors as bright and beautiful as those made by the setting sun. And then the sun slowly sank behind the hills, and the sky grew dark, and the dream vision was over. Little Gopher returned to the circle of teepees with his people. The next day, he began to make soft brushes from the hairs of different animals, and stiff brushes from the hair of the horses' tails. He gathered berries and flowers and rocks of different colors, and experimented crushing them to make his paints. He collected the skins of animals which the warriors brought home from their hunts, and he stretched the skins on wooden frames and pulled them until they were tight. And he began to paint pictures of great hunts, of great deeds, and of great dream visions, so that the people would always remember. But even as he painted, Little Gopher sometimes longed to put aside his brushes and ride out with the warriors. But he always remembered his dream vision, and he did not go with them. Many months ago, he had found his pure white buckskin, but it remained empty because he could not yet find the colors of the sunset. He tried using the brightest flowers and the reddest berries and the deepest purples from the rocks, and still his paintings never satisfied him. They all looked dull and dark. He began to go to the top of a hill each evening to look at the colors that filled the sky and try to understand how to make them. He longed to share the beauty of his dream vision with his people. He never gave up trying. Every morning when he awoke, he took out his brushes and his pots of paints, and he created the stories of the people with the tools that he had. One night, as he lay awake, he heard a voice calling to him in a dream. "Because you have been faithful to the people and true to your gift, tonight you shall find the colors you have been looking for. Tomorrow morning, Take the white buckskin and go to the place where you watch the sun in the evening, and there on the ground you will find what you need." The next evening, as the sun began to go down, little Gopher put aside his brushes and went to the top of the hill, as the colors of the sunset spread across the sky. And there, on the ground all around him, were brushes filled with paint, each one a color of the sunset. Little Gopher began to paint quickly and surely, using one brush and then another. As the colors in the sky began to fade, little Gopher gazed at the white buckskin and he was happy. He had found the colors of the sunset. He carried his painting down to the circle of the people, leaving all the brushes up on the hillside. And the next day, when the people awoke, the whole hill was ablaze with color, for the brushes had taken root in the earth and multiplied into plants of brilliant reds and oranges and yellows. And every spring from that time, the hills and the meadows burst into bloom with the flower that is known today as the Indian paintbrush. Every spring the people danced and sang the praises of little Gopher who painted for the people. And the people decided to no longer call him Little Gopher, but to give him a new name. He was named He Who Brought the Sunset to the Earth. The end. Thank you so much for listening.